Okay, great. Well, Jesse, thanks for joining us. I'm going to start by Jesse introducing you. Of course, as I've mentioned before, I teach the kinesiology 33 class at Evergreen Valley College, and the course is split into three different parts. We talk about the importance of physical activity and being fit and being healthy.
Hmm.
Then we go through all kind of the subdisciplines like the biomechanics, motor skills, psychology. Then the last part of the class, we start to add different careers in kinesiology. And that's what this Q&A is for, is I like to bring in people who are working in different areas of kinesiology just to talk to us, tell us about their job, tell us how they got to their job, tell us what they do on the average day and the average week, and then kind of things that they enjoy and things that, the grass is not always perfectly green. So like, what are some of the downsides to it?
Yeah.
And then of course, the last thing is any recommendations. So just before you go, to introduce Jesse, Jesse is actually an Evergreen alumni. So a Yerba High School student. Jesse played for the men's soccer team in 2018 and 2021. Both sides have also been dual enrolled at San Jose State. Hopefully, I think I'm complimenting Jesse that when he came to Evergreen, I don't know if Jesse knew what he wanted to do per se, but I think during that kind of junior college, whilst at Evergreen, I think he matured academically quite a lot and has gone on to be I think, a huge success. And he'll talk to us about kind of where he's gone on to and what he does. But Jesse, we appreciate you taking the time to kind of do this Q&A with us for our class.
Thanks for having me, Simon. It's a pleasure. You're a person who I have out there, and thank you for having me.
Awesome. Okay, so do you want to start? Kind of tell the group a bit about yourself, a bit about your background,
Yeah.
where you're
So
from, where you study, that kind of stuff.
perfect. Yeah. So I started my high school in Yerba High School, not so far. Once graduating, I didn't really know if I wanted to continue pursuing school, but then I got a text saying about the soccer team, and then I got Simon calling me, and he kind of persuaded me. And then when I was there, it was kind of like it's time to get everything in line. At first, I wasn't sure what I wanted to study, but I knew I wanted to do something with in the medical field. And then that's when I noticed that there was a mix with sports and medical, and I found out about kinesiology, and that's when my interest started increasing. And I was playing soccer, trying to get the best grades as soon as I can. And then from there, I was able to, through connections with Simon and then great performance academically and through soccer, I was able to get a scholarship to play at San Jose State. And I continued there, came back, finished my bachelorette, and I graduated a year ago now. I'm working at a physical therapy clinic, and I've been there for a year. I'm waiting to get accepted into PT school. And yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Also, Jesse, how old are you, right? So you only graduated a year ago, right? So are you like
Mm.
20, 22,
So
22, 23?
I'm 24 now.
Okay.
Just turned 24 a couple months ago. But at the same time, I had a break. I had a year where I took a break off because I just had to focus on myself, and then things were coming at me too quick. So I took that little gap and then came back, and then everything went fine.
And if I remember correctly, as I'm sure some of the students in our class will find, you were also just gone to San Jose State when COVID hit. Was that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that
Or
was
you were right in that kind of transition, right? Kind of
yeah,
slap bang, everything shuts down, things go online, and you guys just have to kind of like deal with not being able to kind of interact with each other and that kind of stuff.
yeah, exactly. The year that I transferred in was that year that we had COVID, and everything was just, I guess, a little harder for me as I wasn't the best online student. I'm more of an in person and get it ready and get it done rather than, I can do it whenever I want. I'd rather be around that surrounding, which was something I really missed during that whole year.
And we find that with a lot of athletes. A lot of our athletes actually enjoy being in person,
Yeah.
face to face, the interaction, the group work versus just kind of sliding through slides.
Yeah,
So I
because it's
think
so easy to get distracted when you're at home.
and finding that little bit of time to kind of like just focus, especially if you've got like younger siblings or parents or grandmas and granddads, and like you haven't got that space just to kind of like shut things down and just like focus on your schoolwork. Well, we actually have online and in person now, so students can actually choose which one they want. My opinion is the in-person one is a bit more interactive.
Yeah, for sure.
So you came to Evergreen, and you were a kinesiology major, right?
Hmm.
So you did this intro to kins class, and
Yeah.
then you went to San Jose State. What did you graduate with at San Jose State? What is the good, if you want to be a physical therapist, what's the kind of the main major to pursue?
So I graduated with kinesiology rehab in science. There's several that you can do. You can do sports management, you can do physio, and you can do exercise science. And I believe there's another one, or there's a new one that they're taking out, which is I think technology in sports. When I was leaving, that was like one of the new ones that they were trying to implement.
Okay.
But yeah, I did rehab science. And with my rehab science, I can basically, so you take all pre-med classes, so you can really navigate through anywhere in the healthcare as long as you take the other exams that are required for, let's say you want to be a doctor, you got to take the MCAT, stuff like that.
And then once you graduated, was there a certificate that you had to take before you can start? Now you're a physical therapist assistant, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. An
So you
AD.
work in a physical therapy setting
Yeah,
underneath kind of the main doctor or physical therapist?
yeah. So I work outpatient, meaning I work for a privately owned office rather than the hospital. But
Okay.
I have done internships at a hospital, which was when you go to San Jose State, you have to do 100 hours of internships, and you kind of got to look for it yourself. They try to navigate and help you with like emails and listings, and you just look for it yourself.
Okay. And then when you graduate with your degree, is there a certificate you need to get in addition to your degree before you
Um,
can start being working, or is it no, you're hands on now and then the next certificate is going to be your full PT license?
Yeah, so most places just want you to have the BLS, basic life support, or the
Okay.
CPR and AED, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much all you need as long as you're working under a doctor. But if you want to be a official assistant under a hospital, you have to go and then take the CAPTNE or the NPTE, which is the national like board exam. So you have to go straight into school and do another 2 years for assistant. And if you want to be a doctor, you have to do 3 years.
I think a cool thing there is if you come out of university and you want to kind of get some hands-on experience before you spend 6 more years of studying and paying for studying, get some work under your belt, get some work experience. Because then when you go back to school a little bit later on, you're probably going to find school a bit more easier because you've got
Mm,
all this hands-on
experience.
experience to kind of. I did my master's in coaching when I was like 39 years old. And I was like, this is so easy because I've been coaching professionally for 20 years and they're
Mhm.
asking me questions on coaching and teaching. I've been
Mhm.
doing this for 18 years. It's a piece of cake.
Yeah, definitely. That's I feel like it's something that's more common now is a lot of the students, well, at least from my class when we graduated, a lot of us took that gap year to really work and see everything, the surrounding, and then some people decided to pursue and continue to make sure it's something they want to do, or you can
Yeah.
always navigate out and try new things.
I think once you're in that kind of sports medical field, if you wanted to shift across to athletic training or again, any level of sports medicine, I'd imagine that some of the core classes like human anatomy and the a lot of those would be quite similar, right? So if you decide
Yeah,
to go into a different form of exercise science, I'm sure there's a bunch of different careers you could go down just with you where you at right now.
yeah, for sure. That's what I like about it. That you can be a athletic director as you're also working for a PT clinic, which is
Okay.
like the good blend that you can have. And then sometimes they can even sponsor your certification.
So you can find a workplace that'll actually put you through that latter part of your education for you.
Hmm.
And
And
they'll
then
probably tie into it that once you graduate, they want you to keep on working there, I bet.
yeah, and then if you want to continue and further your education, now you have that under your belt also, which would look phenomenal.
Can I ask, like, at what point during, like, how old were you when you decided um, that you wanted to be a kind of work in physical therapy? I would imagine my guess would be you just like soccer, you just like sport, and you want to find some sort of job that kind of like keeps you involved with athletes. But when did you decide, you know what, I think a bit of physical therapy and a bit of kind of like, I call it sports medicine, like this is something I want to do. Like, how old were you?
I think it was definitely like in the middle of my soccer college career. I was around 20, 21.
Okay.
that's when I noticed, I was like, I know this isn't forever, so I gotta find something now.
So I think in that case, you're actually on the younger side because a lot of people they get into their mid 20s, late 20s, and even 30s, they've got no idea what they want to do. So if you end up going on to be physical therapist and you work 25 years, you'll be 46 years old and you've got 25 years under your belt. So you're
Yeah.
technically you've gone quite a traditional route where you've come straight out of university into physical therapy. The question is, do you keep on enjoying it and stay in it? Or at some point, do you shift across and do something else?
Yeah, that would be I think for me, I mean, there's I've been the doctors that I talk to and the people that are my mentors, they two of them like it, but a lot of them say to recommend to kind of open your surroundings, as in, some of them want to open Orange Theories or open gyms or open something else to where, you can kind of have an income and like a refresh of everything.
Uh-huh. So then what would you say was the main reason you kind of got into it then? So you decided around 2021. What was the main reason? Was it just to kind of stay involved in exercise and sports and like what made you want to do it?
I feel like after what's I actually went and did a volunteer, and I spent 10 hours with one of the older guys, and the way he was working with patients, the way the whole day went, like the interaction with patients, how they felt after being with him, it made it feel like I could do it and I would want to do it.
So you just enjoyed the first experience you had of doing it. You just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Nice. So what do you do? Like, tell us what you do. So what does a physical therapist, what do you do? You help people walk, you help people hold things. Like, what do you actually do?
Yeah, so it depends. So a day to day looks like I go into the office, I see my patient roll. So on my iPad or in my on the computer, it'll have patients that are going to be working with you. On average, you work from like 10 to 15 patients.
Per day.
In each yeah, on a day.
Okay.
And then each patient has a different condition. They come in around like for an hour to 45 minutes. So each patient has a specific training that you have to do based on whatever it's going on with them. For example, let's say torn ACL, you're doing ACL exercises. You're seeing like what's his range of motion. We're doing electrotherapy. We're doing yeast stem. We're icing. We're doing just all workouts. And
Okay.
then within 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you have another patient. Let's say it's his shoulder. So now you got to go and then see his workout. Sometimes before you meet them, you have to make a workout program for them with the PT. The PT
So with
usually
your
will,
boss, with your boss.
yeah.
Okay.
So usually that when you make your own program, that's because you've kind of been there for a while.
Yeah.
But prior to that, let's say you've only like a month or two in, they kind of gave you like a mock draft. So like they also want you to like when you're getting hired or interviewing, they want you to have some type of experience with like sports injuries or anything like that.
Now, are a lot of your clients, is it sport related injuries? Is it like work related injuries? Is it kind of old age related injuries? Like what
Mhm.
is it a
So
variety? Do you have like a 18-year-old college soccer player than a 65-year-old man that hurt his back picking up something at work? Do you have like a whole range of them?
yeah, so I work at an ortho, so it's general.
Okay.
We get to see everything. We get baseball players, we get maybe 65-year-olds who are getting like knee surgery
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
everyday like workers. It can be anything.
And do you like that? Do you like having the diverse? I remember when I was coaching, in fact, when you were Evergreen, I was still coaching full time. I'd coach college age men from like 1 to 3. Then I'd go and coach 7-year-old girls, 4 to 6, and then I coach 15-year-old girls. And I enjoyed the fact I was not doing the same thing over and over again. I couldn't teach the college age men where maybe I'd swear and crack jokes.
Mm,
Then I'd go coach my daughter's team or 15-year-old girls, and it was a very different kind of communication. I like the variety. Do you like the variety and the fact that you have a 50-year-old woman and a 55-year-old man and then a teenager? Do you like that?
I personally do because
Okay.
you kind of see like the different mentality that everyone has. You see different perspectives of things, and it's like very fun to actually like because you're with them one on one for like 45 minutes, so you get to be like pretty close after their therapy is done.
What do you, if I just shift a little bit, then what are the main skills? Of course, you need the education, but I'm already kind of getting from you. It's quite a personal, it's a relationship type thing, right? You need to be, I imagine, approachable, because if you're working one on one with a client, you need to have a demeanor where they feel comfortable around you,
Yeah,
right?
definitely communication. Communication is like number one, I believe. You want like a patient to feel comfortable with you because as you know, they're going through pain, they're going through like mental stress, they're going through a lot. And then maybe those 45 minutes that they're with you, you can like make them laugh or, kind of make them sure that they're going to get back in those 45 minutes or they feel safe with you. So communication is definitely one I'd say is like the most important.
So you're technically kind of a personal trainer, just from a rehabilitation and a basic movements, a basic, what do they call, activities for daily living type movements. But you're basically a personal trainer.
Yeah, in a way.
You're working with a client to better themselves, whereas a personal trainer might be having them lift more or run further. You're
Mhm.
helping them come back from an injury.
Yeah,
But it's the same one-on-one relationship. If the client enjoys working with you, they're going to keep on coming back to see you more or
yeah,
get more out of the trips.
exactly.
So you work what, like an 8 hour day?
Sometimes you can go to 10
Okay.
as anywhere between 8 to 10 hours.
Are you paid per? Can I ask if you're paid per hour or salary? And does that change as you kind of become a full-time PT versus a PT assistant?
So I'm paid per hour,
Okay.
but so me and the doctor are super close, and she kind of just lets me build my own schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the more people you see, the more money you earn.
Mm, yes and no.
Okay.
I guess if it's after hours, then yes.
Okay.
But during those first 8 hours, to say I don't see like anyone for the first 2 hours, like I'll still get paid the same.
Okay. So it's like as a base level, but if you build the client list, you can also
Mm,
win a bit from that.
yeah.
And then how about, is it Monday to Friday again? Because like I when I teach the classes, I always relate things back to coaching, and coaching's it's kind of 7 days a week. Like everyone thinks, oh, soccer coaching, that's a great job. Yeah, but
Mm,
we're out coaching on a Sunday afternoon and a Saturday morning, and you can never go to a happy hour with your family because you're always at work. So you work 8 to 6, 8 to 5. Do you get weekends off, or do you have to work on weekends?
so I do get weekends off. I know other clinics might not. They probably get like a Saturday also, but I do get both weekends off.
Okay. So it's,
Yeah.
it's like a nice set. It's a nice set schedule.
Yeah, nice little balance.
What are the main kind of like? What would you say the main positives are? So what would you say? What do you enjoy the most from the career you've kind of gone down and where you're at right now? What would you say? You know what? I love it. These are the main things I really enjoy.
I think meeting all the new people for sure. It builds, it opens new doors, not only to like whatever you want to do. Maybe you have like different hobbies, you meet new friends. It's awesome. Or like just getting that wellness or like that feeling where, this kid couldn't walk and he was like, he thought he wasn't going to play soccer anymore because his ACL was out. And
Yeah.
then, within 6 to 7 months, he's running, he's hitting a ball, he's back in the first team. I feel like that's like the motivation that one needs to see, and you're like, okay, I'm on the right spot.
So when you see your clients progress
Yeah.
and whatever that journey, I just had another one of these Q&As with a personal trainer. We were talking about they're all different successes as well, right? If it's the athlete that you see the back on the field, or it's the
Mm,
middle-aged man or middle-aged lady who had a hip replacement or a knee surgery, and now they're kind of back out, just being able to do the things around the house and be a good dad or go back to the job. I guess they're all different rewards as well, right?
mm,
What
yeah.
what would say the challenges are then? So like again, the grass is not always green. So from your
Mm,
job, like coaching, I'd say, hey, coaching everyone. Well, first of all, you will not earn $1 million coaching. That's number one. And number two, you do have to work a lot of evenings and weekends. So that in a coaching world, yeah, great little job, but just understand it's not always rosy in terms of kind of becoming a physical therapist. Are there any downsides to it or not?
um, the only downside, maybe sometimes like you'll be stressed, but you have to, I wouldn't say a downside, but you would have to know like a lot of information, be able to, you know, it, kind of explain it to a client the easiest way possible for them. For example, like electrotherapy, like e-stim. Like a lot of them would be like, oh, like, is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna shock? Like, what's it gonna do? A lot of people come in scared. Or like traction. Traction will like they want to know like every little thing possible about it.
Because they're uncertain, they don't know what it is.
Yeah, which
Could you
is
talk through? So you said electrotherapy. What's electrotherapy? Could I
so
ask?
electrotherapy. There's these two to four pads that are placed on each muscle,
I think
depending
okay,
on
I know. Okay, go on. I
yeah.
think I know what they are. Go
So
on.
depending on the machine, some machines are super high volt, and what they do is they basically kind of send a shock into your muscles. Let's say you can't walk. Let's say you've had some type of surgery where you can't walk, so you can't exercise either if you can't walk. What we do is we put these e-stems padding onto, let's say, your hamstrings. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna send electrical signals into your intramuscular muscles. That's gonna kind of create a little workout for them, causing flexion and extension. Meanwhile, you're doing nothing.
Okay. So he's kind of vibrating and pulsing the muscles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what's that other one? You mentioned one other just then.
Oh, traction. That's for
What?
when people have like a spinal injury. So what it does is we put them onto this traction machine. We wrap them around safety first, and then what it's going to do is going to be decompressing your back at different increments at a time. We usually do around like 20% of a person's body weight, and it'll work its way up. So it'll let's go. Someone weighs like 150. 20% is 30 pounds. It'll start off at like 5 pounds and then slow down. 10 pounds, slow down until we reach that 30, and then it'll slightly decompress.
And what does that do?
That's for anyone who has like a nerve pinch or anything that's going on in your back.
Now, do most of your clients, when you see them, are they on like a one visit, come in and be done, or are they usually on like you come once a week for 4 or once a week for 8?
Yeah, most clients they'll come in twice a week for like four weeks,
Okay.
and then it depends on their injury and how many like on their insurance too, on how many visits they're authorized.
Okay. So you have it's kind of like you kind of mapping it out to build from
Mm,
again that program you mentioned earlier. You go from one activity or one day to day 2 to day 3 up to like 8 in a month.
yeah.
Right. What's the career growth for you then? Like what are the opportunities? So what's the next step? You enjoy doing what you're doing. You want to become the main physical therapist. You have to go back to school for how many years?
So if I want to be a PT, I'd have to go to school back for 3 years, 3 to 4
Okay.
more years, depending on the school.
And then once you do that, do you still work for someone else or do you open your own practice or what?
I definitely would have to work for someone else that is as it's super expensive, and I'd be on loans, and I try to make as much money to kind of pay those off. And
Okay.
then hopefully the goal would be to own your own clinic.
So at some point, if you become a physical therapist, you have a choice between again working for someone else under someone else's building or now I don't think I asked what's the actual physical therapy center? It's in Campbell, right?
Yeah, it's called Pace Physical Therapy.
Okay. So I'll add a link to this in case anyone that is watching wants to kind of follow up and hopefully you don't mind. I'll put your contact details in there as well in case they've got any questions.
Yeah,
But once you kind of graduate, you still have the option of keep on working for someone else, maybe secure money, not as much overheads, or if you open your own business, there's a
mm,
whole new set of skills involved there because you're paying your own rent.
yeah,
You're having to pay your own marketing costs. Like once you own your own business, it's a lot riskier.
yeah, definitely.
Um, how about advice then? What about advice for students? If you, what would you turn around to a 19-year-old Jesse Nieve and tell him, like, what advice do you have for students that are kind of
Definitely
coming through this program?
meet as many people as you can. Kind of be open to like every idea. I because I think connections take you a long way. And I feel like that's something maybe like a 19-year-old or like 18, 20-year-old is going to be like, oh, you know what, like I'll do it later. Or I'll talk to him later, or like I'm still young. But like it opens so many doors. And I wish I would have like also be more verbal. A lot of people are like nonchalant these times. They kind of don't want to speak much. They kind of just want to people to come up to them, and it closes a lot of doors that can lead to other doors to be open.
Networking, right?
Yeah, networking is huge, especially here in Silicon Valley.
So we, in our class, we do a lot of public speaking. Like they'll do groups and they have to present back to the group like, hey, because whatever you go into, you have to be able to talk to people. Like you won't go any, if you just walk around with your head in a cell phone, there's only so far you'll get, even with
Yeah,
knowledge. Like you have to be able to converse and make eye contact and smile at people and be pleasant. Like it goes a long
yeah.
way. Can you get parts like, can you get parts like, so if there's a college student now are there part-time jobs in physical therapy as like picking things up and cleaning things down and tidying up? Is there part-time jobs you can get or even volunteer work they can do?
I'd say it's pretty hard because they rather just get a whole like a student, where they're
Okay.
already just to fully work.
So
Because
it's not as easy as they're going to go if they
yeah,
can find one, great, but it's not super popular to do it.
yeah, it's not super popular or like possible. But like if you can get that like personal training certification, then it'll look fantastic on you.
And then when you said you were in San Jose State when you got first sent on like a residency, right? Kind of a work placement.
Hmm.
Once you're in San Jose State, what semester do you get? Because you just said it's hard to get on-job training because no one really kind of offers it
Hmm.
unless you know someone, right? If you know someone, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But at what point in San Jose for you in your 4-year school was it year 3 or year 4 where you had to go do those? Was it 100 hours? You said.
Yeah, it's 100 hours. They let you decide if you want to do it on year 3 or year 4.
Okay.
It's mostly common to do it on year 4 because now you have more time and you're taking a little bit more less classes compared to year 3.
Okay. So that's the first chance you really kind of get to get out into the workplace. And
Yeah,
unless you've got a connection that would let you kind of come, I think one of our classes, I want to say it was a chiropractor actually. One of the students did reach out to the chiropractor and then did go and shadow him for a couple of weeks. So
well, that's awesome.
from this class, he emailed him and he was like, yeah, reach out to me with questions. And he did. And then the student actually ended up going to spend a couple of weeks just shadowing this chiropractor. I mean, was it chiropractor? I think it was a chiropractor.
Yeah,
Um, but actually got to go to his place of work and spend some time with him.
no, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, and they also apply workshops where they show you how to take ankles or like they'll show you a physical therapist will come and show you like different like exercises or things like that.
Wait, at the 4-year school?
Yeah, at a 4-year
Yeah.
school. There's like clubs. I recommend people go and see those and then meet other what's it called, fellow students that are there too.
And then what kind of, I guess, just find kind of some closing reflections. Is there anything you want to, we kind of went through when we introduced you, we kind of went through your background from Evergreen to San Jose State, went through your job, your kind of your days and your weeks. Of course, your personality or how personable you are, it does shine through. And you mentioned that being kind of like important in that relationship. We kind of went through some skills, went through some career opportunities and growth, and then some advice or kind of next step. But is there anything else you kind of any closing kind of reflections or remarks that you'd give to kind of the next budding group of kinesiology professionals?
I mean, I think everything is there, man. You just gotta get it going.
Just get it done.
Just get it going, man. It's
I think having you on, like, do you remember Jose Buenfil? Did you play with Jose Buenfil?
no, I don't think so. I think he
He's
was
a couple
over.
of, he's our chiropractor. He's also an Evergreen student from James Lick.
Mm,
He was on the soccer team as well. But I think so Jesse was sat in the same classroom as my current students are, like 4 or 5 years ago. And
yeah.
of course, now you come out on the other end and super excited to kind of see your journey. And I'm glad you are where if you end up doing those extra 2 or 3 years, fantastic. If you stay where you are now and you just keep on working for the next 5, 6 years and earning some money and getting some experience, either way, we're super proud of you. And the fact that you're on our soccer team, and I was kind of a little bit a part of that, kind of also, like you said, you help your clients come back after injury. I like it when I get a Zoom call with you as a 24-year-old, having seen you as an 18-year-old. And by the way, when Jesse was an 18-year-old, he wasn't the person making eye contact and smiling. He was a lot more kind of head down and a bit more introverted and a bit more
Yeah.
kind of like didn't give much away. So it's kind of like it's nice to see how you've grown. But You're a great success story for the kids in the class.
No, I appreciate that. No, for sure, Simon. And then, I mean, they have an amazing professor. I mean, I remember when I met you, I was like, man, this guy can speak.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy
I'm
can
not, I don't
speak.
know. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but
I
we'll
was
see.
like, this is something that's gonna, takes a lot of people far, just being able to speak and get, I felt comfortable, and that's why I ended up even going at Evergreen, was because I felt comfortable with you.
Yeah, I think, and I do say that in our class, and you mentioned it earlier, and again, you do get it through the videos, by the way. Um, in our class, like, hey, it makes no difference what you want to study. Like, just make eye contact and smile at people and learn the names and be nice. Like, allow a lot of students to come into class with their head down and they're just on the phone the whole time and they barely even make eye contact with each other. Like, dude, like
Yeah,
learn names and be nice to each other because that's part of it. Like that's part like
yeah,
building the, like you said, the networking part, right? The networking.
definitely.
Okay. Well, Jesse, we really appreciate it. I'll grab Jesse's contact details and I'll also add it to this. I'll put his work email on it. And if you've got questions, feel free to reach out to him. If 150 people reach out at the same time, he can't respond to them all, but I'm sure he'll try his best to guide anyone that has an interest.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks, Jesse.
No problem, Simon. Thanks, man.